The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. You're making us look bad.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
What's going on, everybody? It's the 4 a.m. podcast. We're a bunch of nerds. Watch movies and do things. I'm your host today, Rob, joined by my friends in any order.
But like you said, your friends were going to say something. I'm waiting on them. It's Brian.
Will.
Tony.
Ryan, you're why I can't sleep at night. And today we watched...
Why can't I quit you?
Today we watched Venom because I don't know why. I couldn't even tell you why, but we did. And hey guys, Tony, Brian,
We clearly lost our goddamn minds.
Will,
Pretty much.
Sometimes Will. What's y'all's history with Venom?
This was my first time seeing it.
I watched it once before when it came out on video on demand a couple years ago, and locked it in a box under my house, and finally let it out today to watch it again.
Tony?
I saw this in theaters, and I actually own a copy of this on Blu-ray.
Oh my god.
Now, I just wanted to get your reactions there, because I do own a copy of this on Blu-ray, but I did get it free from the local library when they were giving them out.
It's like no one even wants to rent these from us. Here, take it.
They decided they'd rather have books.
That's not true.
Did it come with a novelization?
Not the copy I got.
Now, we have to dial it back a little bit here because...
Wait, Rob, what's your history?
So my history is, I watched the trailer for this movie and said, "Oh, that looks like Daredevil. I don't want to see this."
Oh no!
It looks like it came out in the same time period.
It does.
Yeah, it plays out like it came out in the same time period.
It sure does.
Oh, Avi Arad, you are mwah, just God's gift to Marvel Entertainment, aren't you? Oh boy. And after that, I think I did watch it one time because I was like home for a bunch of days and I was like, I need something to do. Oh, Venom. And then, I just hit my head against the wall enough that I kind of forgot everything about it. So that's really it. So that's our history. Do we have any other history on this film as far as?
Oh, we certainly do. All right. So yeah, it's Venom from 2018, rated PG-13, which
that's
problem
right.
number one. Directed by Ruben Fleischer, who did Zombieland, 30 Seconds or Less, Gangster Squad, Zombieland 2, Double Tap, and is in charge of doing the Uncharted movie.
Does that also have Woody Harrelson?
No, that has Tom Holland, the Spider-Man kid, as Drake.
What?
And Mark Wahlberg as somebody. So hang on tight, folks.
I thought Drake was
as Boston guy.
Now, when you say as somebody, is that you not knowing, or if we watch the movie, it'll say in the credits Mark Wahlberg and just somebody next to his name?
50-50 shot.
Or do you think he showed up and said, "Give me a pot. I'm somebody.
Definitely that.
Okay. Oh.
I want to play an archaeologist.
I know science. I played a mathematician in The Happening. Oh, he was a scientist. He was a scientist.
He was a scientist.
The other guy,
he was a scientist.
John Leguizamo was the mathematician.
He was like a high school science teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was a mathematician.
Telling his students about their perfect faces and bodies. And Tony's dead.
Yeah.
He just hit a symbiote explode out of him.
Oh my god. Now,
Symbiote?
did they fix that in post?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that first trailer dropped, and so many people shit a brick about how she was saying symbiote that they changed it.
Like, it's the wrong word. Like,
It's only the linchpin of the entire character.
Well, to be fair, they are missing the linchpin on the entire character for most of this.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
did you see the new? Did you see the new DC trailer for Superman 3? Anyone? Superman 3?
Oh yeah, which by the way, just want to say here, it's good timing on us doing this since they both found a symbiote on the side of they're over by an ocean somewhere, and the Venom 2 trailer is about to drop. So
Are
no,
you
it's
serious?
not. Stop it! Stop it!
Oh yeah,
Aviarad, could you please? No, I'm not even gonna say it. That's too rude. But please stop. Just stop.
But anyway, so yeah, this movie came out. It was the 30th anniversary of Venom's first appearance in Marvel. So yay for him. Happy birthday. This movie this movie had so many issues dating back to the early 2000s, I believe, because this movie was supposed to be a spin-off of Spider-Man 3 until that whole thing collapsed. Then they were going to make it part of the web series.
So real talk, did they just use that script?
Probably.
Because for real, it starts out exactly that way. Minus Spider-Man.
Hold on, we'll get there. But yeah, then it was going to be part of the Amazing Spider-Man series. There was Sony announced that they were going to come out with Venom Carnage, and it's going to be part of the Spider-Verse until that got dropped, and then we rebooted it again with Marvel. They decided it had to be a standalone thing. Ruben Fleischer wanted he had the inspiration from such movies as Tim Burton's Batman and American Werewolf in London, so he wanted to give it a darker tone.
Blame them. A darker tone?
To fit the edgier comic. I'm quoting here. This
okay.
Is, yeah, we'll get into all this.
I'm pretty sure when we do the Three Amigos, it will have a darker tone in this movie.
And Tom Hardy, apparently part of the reason he took this role is because his son is a big fan of Venom, which we know that always turns out well.
Right. Well, plus he really wanted to sit in a lobster tank.
Yeah.
I like it when they pinch my bottom.
Well, no, he wanted to make a movie his son, quote unquote, his son could watch. So
still waiting.
His son is blind and deaf, I assume.
After learning about Venom, he took to the character, loving that he was a quote unquote tragic clown.
Okay.
He claims to have gotten the inspiration of the relationship between Eddie Brock and Venom from Ren and Stimpy.
Okay. But the late night adult party one?
Sure. I guess he did a lot of improving with the character as well, which included the famous lobster tank scene, where the original tank was just meant for lobsters, but they had to build a new one because he decided he wanted to climb on in.
That's not ad-libbing. If you make them rewrite the scene, it's not ad-libbing.
Right? Yeah, that's just being a dick.
True.
That's called Chevy chasing.
Yeah.
This is also a part that I was quite upset with, which is they originally intended to have him do all the mocap stuff for him, but they decided they couldn't do it because with the elongated mouth, the big eyes, and everything, it wouldn't line up, and they'd need like a 7-foot tall person to play it. At which point I thought of, hey, remember in Guardians of the Galaxy when a grown person played a raccoon?
Right.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Tom Hardy as Bane looked like Venom to me, like.
Well, that was just him. That's the different story, but yeah,
he's got the body size.
Just build him up a little, like you can, still use the facial movements, just extend them out. But whatever. And this movie does play a loving tribute to the comics of sort by throwing in a lot of references to the comics, which is odd because it has so very, very little to do with them.
Yeah, now when you say loving, Is that like loving in that kind of way where a guy gets home drunk and hits his girlfriend? Loving,
Wow.
like that kind of loving.
Wow.
Tony, you're not answering the question.
And I'm not going to. So that's the history on this movie. We'll get into the rest of it all later, but do you want to guess at how much money this movie cost to make?
Way too much money. $200 million.
I'm gonna say 120.
I'll guess 115.
Oh, so close. It was $100 million.
Just 100 even?
Yep. Well, as
Okay.
far as I could find.
Wow.
So pretty much a low budget film. They're really just scraping to get by here. That's all right.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to guess how much it cost to make.
How much it made? You mean?
Yeah. I'm sorry. How much it's made?
I didn't know if you were
Worldwide.
just going on if you were asking us the cost in souls at that point.
It cost
How many
everything.
blood nickels were tossed into a well?
It cost everything.
I'm gonna say 400 million.
I think it made like 500. I think.
I saw this, so I'm not gonna guess.
Well, tell them. Well,
It was like 800 million.
Oh,
$850 million.
because you know what happens. You put the Marvel logo on it, and people say, "Oh, I know that logo. That means fun time. Me go see fun time at movie house place. Me give money, sit down."
Sure, that's exactly what they said.
Ugh. And
Alright.
they sit down, and what they get is the filmic equivalent to a Dragon Ball Z silk poster.
Well, yeah. So what that money did get us, we got Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and Venom. Got Michelle Williams as Annie.
Yeah.
Riz Ahmed as Carlton Drake and Riot.
Snidely Whiplash.
Scott Hayes as Security Chief Officer or Chief Security Officer. Yeah, who cares?
All right.
Maybe read the character names before you read the actor names.
I said Scott Hayes, didn't I?
No, I know, but like we don't need to know the security guy.
Oh,
No,
I see.
That's the balding blonde dude that was chasing him around.
He kind of looked like Bill Burr.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, a little bit.
He was the main tough.
Yeah.
We have Jenny Slate as Dr. Dora, whatever.
The Explorer.
Dr.
Yeah.
McStuffins.
Yes.
The worst.
Her stuffins gets ripped out.
And
Mona Lisa
should
Travesty.
should we spoil the other actor in this?
No, that's all right.
I mean, it's pretty spoiled already, to be honest with you.
So yeah, Woody Harrelson as Cletus
Cletus.
Cassius.
God.
Cassidy.
Cassidy, right?
Cassidy, yeah, sorry.
Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel.
That's all I could think of.
Oh, man.
This is just...
And his goddamn clown wig.
Yeah, who played the wig? Was that Andy Serkis?
Meatball from Aqua Teen Hunger. Meatwad.
No, I think it was the mop from Under My Sink.
You don't have a lot.
I can't even do a Meatwad impression.
Yeah, no, honest to God, he looks like Sideshow Bob.
Yep. Weren't the pictures they've been showing recently? He's got it's shaved. It's like a
Yeah,
shaved
it's
head.
shorter now.
He looks
Oh,
more like the mom from Rugrats.
Okay.
You know what he doesn't look like? A threat. That's what he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like anything I could take seriously.
Scary Marvel movie villain, 60-year-old Woody Harrelson.
Well,
no.
Yeah, he's 58.
Well, let's not dump on that, because I think he could have done the job quite well if he wasn't in this movie with that dumb clown wig.
I mean, but this is so the time for Jared Leto to shine.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he's too busy being Morbius.
Oh God, yeah.
Future episode Morbius.
I think
Yeah.
I'm glad that I have no
Rad.
attachment to Morbius and I don't know much about him, so that when I see the movie, I won't be like comparing it to shit. You know what I mean?
Brian, I
Yeah.
got a little secret
Yeah.
for you. Ain't nobody got an attachment to Morbius.
Well, that's the biggest problem, though. Spider-Man now has an attachment to Morbius.
Yeah.
It's a character that
in
doesn't.
there.
It's a character that doesn't mean anything to anyone outside of Blade. Like,
Right.
nobody cares about Morbius. Like, I don't even. You all remember the Spider-Man, radioactive. You remember that
that's
cartoon,
the only thing,
right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know it from.
Yeah, you remember what the Morbius episode was?
Mm-hmm.
He had like a pig nose and sucked plasma
Yeah,
out of his
Yeah,
whole hand.
I mean, aside from being a pig-nosed plasma sucker, which, Jared Leto, good call.
Fair enough.
You don't remember what happened. You don't remember what kind of character Morbius was.
No.
You just remember he had a pig nose. He was white and he had a pig nose.
All right,
In the movie, he does too, so they did well with that.
Yeah, great.
Two for two.
But yeah, here's the other problem, and it will segue us into the real conversation here. In that trailer for Morbius, we see the Vulture, which means he's more connected to the Spider-Man movies than this fucking Venom.
Did you also notice in those trailers that the Spider-Man painted on the walls was from the first Spider-Man movies?
No.
No.
I haven't seen that trailer, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, so this ship is crashing into Earth.
So Venom. So they started out with a ship crashing and not anything interesting. So it is basically so in Spider-Man 3, was it Spider-Man 3 where J. Jonah Jameson's son, or was that 2?
3.
His son was in 2, but Venom showed up in 3.
Right. But he was an astronaut in 2.
Yes.
And in this, it's his ship that's coming down.
Yes, correct.
Because they name check him as Jameson.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
He's the one that's alive. So this ship crashes, and there's just it just releases a bunch of goop monsters.
Well, just one.
In Malaysia.
Yeah.
The
other
gayest country in Asia.
Okay.
Wow. That's
He's quoting.
And it's
I'm
not
quoting
the rub or his
I'm
own
quoting a
mouth.
comedian. Quoting
Okay.
a joke.
It's not a NASA ship. It's from the Life Foundation, aka
Tesla.
making fun of Elon Musk and all that kind of stuff.
AKA Avi Arad doesn't understand anything.
AKA placement holder name.
Yeah, I'm assuming Avi Arad is pretty much Tommy Wiseau. Like, that's kind of the feeling I get. Just an awful, awful man. Yeah, so we do a little weird Slender Man thing now, where it's just like,
you can obviously tell that something's up with the one person they found alive in this crash from space.
yeah,
because anything would be alive and breathing if it fell from fucking space. So they put it in a fucking ambulance, and sure enough, fucking this shit starts coming alive. This person starts coming alive and fucking kills everyone in the fucking van.
Also, hold up a sec. Avi Arad?
yeah.
What are you talking about?
The name that has been attached to all of the terrible Marvel movies. He's the executive producer of all the X-Men's, the Spider-Mans, the Amazing Spider-Mans, the Daredevils, the Electras, all the cartoons. So some cool things have happened with his name attached. But he's that guy that's
he was like the Kevin Feige before Kevin Feige.
Right.
Yeah, but he's the executive producer. I wouldn't blame him for any of this.
Oh, no. He's the one that, he's one of the main orchestrators of that whole Fantastic Four movie debacle.
Yeah, but he's still not the writer or the director. That's where I put more of the blame.
No, but he's the one that okays all this stuff.
Well, yeah, but he's just, whatever.
He's the idea.
Right. Back to Malaysia.
He should be smart enough to stop it, but he's not. But whatever. Yeah, back to Malaysia.
So yeah, Jameson's son. Everybody that gets touched by the symbiote turns into a Slender Man kind of. Just that herky-jerky, dead black eyes sort of thing. And
yeah.
And so an EMT wanders off with the symbiote attached to her. And we cut to, was it San Francisco? San Diego?
San Francisco.
Yeah. Also, just to clarify, Jameson is dead at this point.
Right.
So the symbiote could go into this EMT.
Right.
Who then just, walks from Asia to somewhere else.
Right. And they killed J. Jonah Jameson's son in this movie.
Yep.
Just to be clear. Killed him. He's a Marvel character. He did kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically off-screen death for this guy.
I mean, I suppose it's better than him becoming a werewolf, but you know.
Feige could have made it cool.
They killed Jimmy Olsen and
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not, you're not wrong, and that's why I'm comparing the two.
Yeah, that is the movie you want to be related to.
So we cut to Tom Hardy and his girlfriend Annie. So it's Eddie and Annie, which makes it really hard when the two of these idiots are yelling each other's names. You're like, who's yelling what?
It really does. There were 2 scenes where I had to rewind it because I thought Eddie Brock was screaming his own name.
Right, and I'm like, what? So,
and he's like a guerrilla reporter.
Oh yeah, he's a guerrilla reporter.
Kind of rip off of Vice.
Emphasis on the gorilla.
And the fact that he's just discovered he has opposable thumbs.
Yes.
So yeah, he's like this super crack reporter, like gets in the dirt and whatever.
It's probably just like a web series. He's not even on real TV.
No. He just writes all this stuff down and leaves it in a drawer.
It's just his own YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's it.
That he later gets fired from.
Yeah, he sold the rights.
What is he, Logan Paul?
Oh, gross.
Yeah, so basically, you find out his girlfriend's a lawyer for this super rich Life. And was it Life Industries? What's the name of the company?
The Life Foundation.
Life Foundation. She's a lawyer for them. He happens to be going to interview the head of that company,
Carlton Drake.
And his boss was like, yo, Eddie, this is low hanging fruit. The guy, he's paying us a bunch of money to do a little fluff thing. Don't fuck this up. Just ask him about his rocket ship and get the fuck out. And Eddie's
Also,
like,
so in my notes, I wrote totally fucked up interview.
Well, that too. But his boss is the dude from Luke Cage.
He is.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's a good actor. But
R.I.P.
Like, if you have any hope of being a part of the MCU, which obviously this does, why would you double dip?
Well, to be fair, the
out.
MCU double dip themselves.
I know, they're doing it too. Because they're having the same, like, one of the other guys from Luke Cage would be Blade now, which is crazy.
Well,
to
that
me.
too, but, like, they already had, one of the ladies from Luke Cage was in, one of the other movies.
I mean, I feel like the only thing they might bring back to the MCU is Daredevil, maybe. So I'm not too upset.
They need to bring back Luke Cage.
Yeah,
they need it.
So the boss is like, just make it a puff piece.
Yeah, go suck his dick and then get the fuck out.
Right. His name is Carlton Drake. There's not a more obvious bad guy name out there. Like, what do you want? Like, don't mess with this guy.
What's the name of the guy from Uncharted?
Something Drake.
Yeah. So they're like brothers or something.
Yeah, exactly, they're brothers.
I wish they went the other way and he walked in and he was just doing the Carlton. Dun, dun, dun,
I mean, he might as well have been. This is the most unscary bad guy I've ever seen.
I love the scene before that where he's doing like this little tour with these like elementary school children, and he's like, "Well, thanks for coming. I gotta go." And this little girl raises her hand, and everyone's like, "No, shut the fuck up!" And he's like,
"Get in the corner!"
And he's like, "No, that's what's different about you and I. We get to ask questions. We're the ones that ask questions." And then she doesn't get to ask the question. He just walks away.
It's like, my assistant will answer your questions. Bye.
Also, I wanted to make it known he has to leave that little kids group to go change from his gray suit to a grayer suit.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I gotta go get my homeless people killing suit on. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, it's be on TV, so change into a TV suit.
Yeah.
But so this fucking guy, like Eddie Brock, like starts the interview out, and he's like obviously like sketchy. He's like the sketchiest reporter I've ever seen, and you can tell.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you can tell like he's gonna shit his pants in like a minute, and sure enough. He's like, so yeah, about all this bullshit you were doing, tell us about that. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's literally, he doesn't even get his like first like puff piece answer before he's like, "Oh, just tell me all this horrible shit you're doing."
My notes just say make him incriminate himself. Can you answer anything to that for me, please?
One quick note. that we forgot here. We got to pump on the brakes a little. He's doing this because after sleeping with his girlfriend, he goes trolling on her computer and finds classified information she got through work about how terrible this place is.
He straight up snooped through her classified stuff while he was getting a midnight snack of a gallon of orange juice.
So why not just save all those documents and then turn that in before you make a fool of yourself on your internet show?
Right, or, and hear me out, not snoop on your girlfriend's private stuff.
Facts. Right there. That's number one right there.
Because that's not how you make a likable hero.
Yeah.
Again,
he's a shitbag.
He's not a likable character.
Yeah, no. Again, we have another, because we want to connect this to really awesome movies. He's doing the same shit that the girl did in Godzilla, where she, I know you're my love interest, but I'm going to steal shit from you so I can advance my career as a reporter.
Yep. Yeah, now, if he was sleeping with Matthew Broderick, that would have been fine. However, he was sleeping with somebody that actually had a backbone that was like, you snooped, you screwed me over, made me lose my job. Get the hell out. Get out.
Drake pretty much gets him fired, and then fires his girlfriend, and his life falls apart
in like the span of a month or less.
Yeah, they didn't do a good job of like having time go by. There was no like montage to let you know that like
it just said 6 months later.
Yeah. And it's weird because like he has a new apartment, but there's no sign of a new job. Like, what is he doing?
Before the 6 month later thing, do they show any of the Drake guy doing weird symbiote stuff?
It's almost like right after this. Like,
I don't know where it's cut in, but it's in there somewhere where he's like, attached this.
Yeah.
Tony. The guy, he's famous on YouTube, so he had money coming in from views still.
Okay.
Listen, you gotta have like, okay, so this dude was like a local rinky dink ass. You have no idea how many views you need to attain that kind of ad revenue.
Well, like living in San Francisco in general is insanely expensive.
Right. Yeah. Like his apartment was like, they tried to make it look shitty, but it was nice. It was a nice place.
That would be so much money.
Yeah, you don't know, Rob. He could have been a big deal.
He could have been, but
that guy recognizes him in the bar.
Because here's the thing: if he was making that much ad revenue, he wouldn't have to be looking for jobs. He'd be like, okay, whatever. I'll put out a couple. I'll start blogging from home. Hey, watch me cook this ratty ass chicken.
All right, but
here's some burnt tater tots.
No, there are no children in this film. Sorry, YouTube analytics.
Yeah, those are weird. Who knows what the fuck's going on there? But anyway, I guarantee you don't.
Well, I do as much as anyone can.
Yeah, because I don't think YouTube knows what's going on. But anyway, so this EMT worker, she wanders herself into some village somewhere. She starts murdering a bunch of people for whatever reason. This is
when I first remembered that it was PG-13. Because previously, wasn't there a scene where she like slits somebody's throat and there's blood everywhere? Or something like that?
No idea.
I'm not sure. Weirdo. Maybe. She does slit somebody's throat here. We just don't really see any blood because...
Was that originally going to be R?
I'm sure they wanted to.
Right. Yeah, again, there was a long, complicated history with this movie, so at one point it was going to be R, but then they toned it down, and like they changed everything.
I'm guessing the conversation went like this. Hey, and this is Avi Arad speaking. Hey, we want to make this movie, and it's going to be R, Venom. He kills everybody.
Is that how he really sounds, Rob, or are you just making up something?
That's how he sounds in my heart.
Okay, all right.
Venom, he kills people, kills lots of blood. And Kevin Feige was like, well, okay, but we're not going to do that, though, because if you want anything to do with our movies, it's not going to be rated R. He's like, well, you have the Deadpool is rated R, yes, and the Logan, yes. It's like, yeah, but we like those characters.
Okay. All right.
Those are fun.
Just to clarify, so this Avi guy is apparently the dude that throws fish from the Muppets. And
he is.
Kevin Feige is Kermit the Frog.
Confirmed.
Okay.
Cormit.
Confirmed. Corman.
Corman's the frog. I'm sorry.
Avi Arad is a tiny puppet.
But all right, so this is another part where I'm just like, what is happening and why? Because this EMT worker, she's looking a little rough. I guess there's some wear on the tires because she did just walk from who God only knows. But she starts murdering everybody in this village. Most of them run off, except this one old lady who's really feeble.
She couldn't run.
I guess. Yeah, she can't run. She's just that feeble. But the symbiote's like, oh, yep, that's the body I want. Perfect, so it jumps into her.
Listen, the symbiote makes a lot of choices I'm not sure about. So
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
It was more of a. I lashed out because I'm hungry and angry. Fuck, I should have kept one of them. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Okay.
You're not you when you're hungry. Eat a little human.
Eat an eel.
So now we cut to, Tom Hardy's down on his luck. He's in a bar. He's drinking. He's still got a nicer apartment than I do. But, he's so rough. He's got it so tough. He's got his homeless prostitute newspaper friends. And he's watching the news, and for some reason, he wants to turn the news off because he's doing a report on Snidely Whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
But our own podcaster Will seems to tell him that he wants to watch the news. Will, can you speak to that at all?
Yep, that was.
Well, actually, I was watching that.
Yeah, he's one of those. Well, actually.
Could you turn that back on? I was trying to watch that.
That is actually comedian Nick Thune.
Why are you gonna ruin it?
Sorry.
Anyway, so now we cut to Snidely Whiplash at his testing facility, and
he's doing experiments on animals with the symbiotes.
Oh no! Now they've gone to humans. I'm skipping ahead to the humans.
Well, I have a question though. So they put the symbiote in a fucking bunny, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't it make fucking aggressive ass, symbiote bunny? What's going on?
They probably did, and that just probably never made it into the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, because I wanted that spin-off. I wanted that spin-off of the crazy bunny.
We can get if we got Spider Ham, it could be like Venom bunny.
Venom hair.
Yeah, that would be awesome if they were like, all right, let's try it on humans now. It's like, no, I like being Riot Bunny. You would die.
Riot Rabbit. It'd be Riot Rabbit, and it'd be down for a 3-season deal on Cartoon Network. So they move on to human testing, and what's her name from? I can't even remember her name. I'm trying to make a Parks and Rec joke, and I can't even remember the rest.
It's Mona Lisa Saperstein.
Yeah, Mona Lisa.
She's the worst.
Yeah, she's like, money please, and he's like, we got to do human testing, and she's like,
money please.
I don't like that.
Yeah. So she calls him a bitch and leaves, but no. So she's like, I don't want to do human testing. He's like, you got to do human testing. So go to human testing, and Adam Sandler's Opera Man is the first guy up on the chopping block.
Yeah, that was sad.
I thought it was that guy from Nickelback.
It might as. You know what?
He's down on his left.
Might as well be.
Hey, look at this photograph.
Yeah,
it's you as a symbiote.
Once you realize that they're using homeless people, you know that his homeless friend is going to be there. Like, you already know that.
Oh yeah, Brian, no.
It's like not subtle.
The minute she showed up, I was like, you are going to be experimented on.
Yeah, the minute the minute she showed up and had lines that weren't I'll suck your dick for a nickel. Yeah. That's how you know.
Yeah.
He goes,
no way he's making friends with a homeless person and they're not dying before this movie's over.
Right, absolutely. Not a homeless lady with a heart of gold that just wants to sell newspapers. Yeah. Like, well, come on.
Yeah.
So
now you got a heart of goo.
Yeah, exactly. So now Snidely Whiplash is like, I don't know, he's talking about the Bible and he's just going on.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening?
His monologues are the worst.
Just put it in. Just
he's
release the thing.
He's like, I read 4 lines in the Bible. I don't understand what it means, but I'm going to tell you what I think about it. And
it's just to make him look smart and like cunning,
but it just
and
makes
more
them
threatening.
But so have you guys seen Predators? I know Tony has.
Like, yeah, I saw that.
The one where they're all transported to the planet?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no,
No, you haven't seen that one?
I saw the last one that came out.
Okay. So you might not get this, but everybody else here will get this. I get the same feeling from him that I got when... Okay, never mind. I'll use this as a reference. Spider-Man 3. How did you feel when you found out Topher Grace was the main bad guy?
Oh, I hate that guy.
Yeah, that's
So-
the same feeling you hear.
He tried to steal my friend's girlfriend. Fuck that guy.
Okay, well, besides that, you'll have to go into that story another time.
It's
When
like
we
they
get
wanted to cast somebody that looked kind of like Tobey Maguire.
But it's basically like casting Matthew Broderick as the main antagonist. You're like, all right, anyone else in this movie could beat the shit out of this guy. Why are we afraid of him?
Because in the comics and stuff, Eddie Brock's kind of like similar to the Flash Thompson character, where he's like a big kind of
He's
jock
a jock.
dude.
Yeah.
And he's dumb, and is just pissed that Peter Parker is getting all this
Right.
fame. You know.
So here's where I'm like, all right, they needed a 5-year plan for Venom. What they're trying to do here is fast track it, and it's not okay. It's not going to work. Because Marvel has done one thing well over the past 10 years, and that is set up a cohesive story. At this point, does anyone here actually go to a Marvel movie because of the name of the character that's like on the poster? Or they're just like, I'm going to go see the next part of the story?
Well, Marvel's build a trust up for because,
Right.
Like,
It's like
Exactly.
I'm gonna go see Black Widow, not necessarily because I'm in love with that character, but because I trust the MCU and I know there'll probably be some like connections to stuff we've already seen.
So
this more to the point, you can a lot of their movies work on their own, but even if that's the only one you see, you can generally follow the story.
Well, how about this? It's not until Iron Man 3 that Pepper Potts gets armor around her and gets to do shit.
Right.
In this 70 minutes in, Michelle Williams has the freaking Venom suit.
Right. So what needed to happen? Here's what needed to happen. 5 to 10 year plan. After the events of Spider-Man Far From Home, Peter Parker's distraught. He's upset. He's followed everywhere. He's getting threats, whatever. He's like, Doctor Strange, what kind of crazy projects can I do for you? Like, I need to get out of here. I need to get away, whatever it takes. So Doctor Strange has him doing all these crazy side missions in other dimensions and stuff. And he goes to another dimension where he finds the symbiote. Like,
he was
just like
in
Baby
one,
Yoda.
though.
Huh?
It's like Baby Yoda.
Right. But the thing is, like, so he finds a symbiote and he's like, oh, this gives me a new sense of like confidence. I feel confident when I have this new suit on. Plus it's different. It looks different. It acts different. So I can kind of set myself up as kind of a different character. And you have like almost an entire phase where he's this other character, like the black suit Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, you're setting up a whole thing here, but the point
I am.
I mean,
which is what they should have done.
Yeah, well, but
setting up a whole
okay,
thing and not just.
If they really wanted to do that, Spider-Man he died on an alien planet somewhere. He could have come back with the symbiote. It wouldn't have been that hard.
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
Even if they didn't want to do that, like it would be good to do that and then have a movie with him in the black suit, and then
you can't have him get dusted and then come back with the suit, because honestly, he hasn't had enough time being just Spider-Man yet. At that point,
I suppose. I mean, I would think
he had one movie and been in one other movie, like the same thing where they're calling for Miles Morales to come in. I'm like, yes, I want to see Miles Morales in the MCU, but it's too soon. Like, we need Spider-Man to actually be Spider-Man for a little while before we replace Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that's fair.
All right,
but regardless, like the real problem they have with this is, like, even if you want to do like a different story than like, you know, him him being out in space or whatever, you want to have them come back on the ship or whatever reason you want to make up with that. Since you're jumping to this right now, Venom is 90% or at least 50% Spider-Man. So without Spider-Man,
Right.
a lot of this doesn't make sense.
Because
Exactly.
the reason he looks the way he does is because it was original. That's who he latched on to first.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when
And
Spider-Man,
the powers he has and everything.
and when Spider-Man gets shoehorned into this whole scenario in the next movie or whatever, there's not going to be any backstory as to why they're enemies or why they even know each other. Like
Why
there's
they
not
have
gonna-
similar faces.
Right. Why they look the same.
But
why Venom
here's-
suddenly has a spider symbol on his body.
If he does.
Probably. Yeah.
Here's the problem, or part of the issue I have, and I do blame this on the comics, is they started doing this stuff because they had the symbiote planet, which, okay, you want to do that, that's fine.
Right.
But
That
all
is
the symbiotes looked like Venom. And it's like, no, he looked like that because of the process he went through with Spider-Man and then with Eddie Brock. So you, like, why, like the big eye thing, the big eyes like that.
Mm.
That's because he originally had the Spider-Man outfit that looked like Spider-Man with the big eyes.
Right.
So when all the other ones just have that for
They just
no
retconned
reason,
it.
yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
Mm.
And in
Now he
this
just
one,
looks like Spawn.
yeah, well, yeah. And in this one,
Whoops.
like, yeah,
Whoops.
it's like, okay, well, we're going to take away all the characteristics of Spider-Man. It's like, then you're just left with a black suit. Like, what is that?
What's that, Mr. McFarlane? You've been drawing Spider-Man for a while? You've been drawing that Venom comic? Oh, what's this? You've got your own character? Oh, looks good.
Put a cape on it.
Yeah, put a cape and some spikes on it.
Well, I don't, that's a weird thing because, you're claiming he ripped himself off, so whatever. He's free to do that.
He loves drawing long trails of things.
He does do that.
All right, so
He does.
So John Ralphio's sister contacts Eddie Brock, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you were kind of right about him being an awful person, and you need to come check this out."
Don't care. Fuck you.
Yep. Also, she did a horrible job of bringing like a secret person into this obviously high tech building.
She's not
Yeah.
smart.
Duck down in my car.
And again, this makes no sense to me because he's like, "Why don't you call the cops?" And she's, "I can't because I'm afraid for my life." Like, okay, that makes sense. You don't want to get involved in all this. I get that. You're trying to pass the buck. But she doesn't pass the buck. She then takes him into the facility, like greatly endangering yourself. You're on video camera. Like, they're gonna find out.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Like, because with all this like security shit, she like doesn't realize that they're gonna see her let him in. Like,
Right.
I don't. What?
She must have
Dumb
thought
as fuck.
like she must have thought that he would take some pictures. Next day it would be all over the news, and like Carlton Drake would be led away in chains.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I that's the only thing I can assume because everything else is just too hard to, think that she was that dumb. But so he finds his friend in one of the tanks. He takes pictures of all the people that have died. It's super, supposed to be kind of scary, I guess. And finds his friend and somehow
the whore
starts
with
messing.
the heart of gold.
You keep assuming she's some sort of sex worker.
So tell me
So
she's
Rob's not a good person either.
Tell me she's not, William.
I don't know. I can neither confirm nor deny. So what? He like bleep bloops on the keypad, and she's able to get out and coughs on him or something.
He stole that whore's power goo.
Yeah, she just vomits.
It's usually the other way
being
around.
onto him.
Yeah, it'll be that way later.
Oh, I think also somewhere in this we find out one of the other symbiotes is already dead.
Oh yeah, I
Mhm.
didn't really understand that.
Yeah, they keep they don't quite say how many they have. I think they mentioned like 3 at one point, but
Yeah,
they
there's-
do like a bunch of tests. So like, are they killing you each time? Like, I'm confused.
Well, no, there's 3 symbiotes that they have in quarantine, and then there's one that's walking from Asia to San Francisco apparently.
Right.
So there's 4 in total.
Right,
And-
but I mean, like they were testing on bunnies, and they kept saying that things were dying.
well,
But, like,
this symbiote was killing the host, but then they would just capture the symbiote again.
oh, it wasn't dying. Okay, all right.
Yeah, But in this scene, we see a dead one, which means I don't know how or why, but now it's just
I think it can
there's another character gone.
I think it can only live so long in our atmosphere without a host.
Yeah, I get that, but like and this will be a problem later too. But like, why isn't someone watching this shit? It's kind of important.
Oh, so why is this super secret, super illegal, weird human testing facility not like monitored 24/7? That's a good question.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make sense. Whatever.
It's like, I don't know why the Life Foundation doesn't have a night watchman, but Walmart does.
Right.
Well, they had a night watchman. It was just one for the whole.
Just not in the important area.
And they fired him. He's like, I can't go. There's like 35 floors to this building, and I don't have access to the sub basement where the thing happened.
If Walmart had a whole team of security, but no one was in the electronics department.
I don't know if you've ever been to a Walmart before, but that's exactly how it's run.
Yeah, but at least they have cameras fucking everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. They're all milling around the cart corrals.
But anyway, yeah, she throws up on him. He gets the symbiote, so then he runs off. He smashes his way through the forest.
So I kind of wrote in my notes this little stretch in between when he gets the symbiote and before the apartment scene where he's like kicking ass. I was just totally checked out.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah,
because I knew what was coming. I'm just like, this is dumb. You don't need to go to the doctor. Like, what are you doing? Don't sit in a lobster tank.
Like the whole escape scene from this place when he's been possessed or whatever. Like it's kind of cool, but it goes on too long.
That's pretty much every fight in this movie. It's like kind of cool. There are cool elements, but it's like it's first of all, it either turns way too silly or way too long, or both.
Yeah.
That is this movie in a nutshell. Kind of cool, but not.
Speaking of way too silly, after he gets away in the forest, we cut to an airport where the little old lady runs into just this random girl this random orphan girl, apparently just traveling internationally with no adults with her.
Yeah, what? I'm assuming
post 9/11, just this little girl.
Reminds me of the scene from Men in Black where Will Smith is like, she's up to something.
Right. Yeah. Like, I'm assuming the woman that went into the bathroom just before her was her mom, but did she then kill her?
No, because there's no parents anywhere else in the movie for her.
It's Malaysia. It's the Wild West.
So she got on the plane by herself and everybody was just cool with that? Does she have a dad anywhere?
I mean, if you think about it, this movie killed that little girl.
Yeah. Killed the little girl inside of me, too. So, I'm just trying to walk through the logic of this. Like,
there is none.
This symbiote trying to find proper hosts to get home chooses a little old lady and then a small child.
Yep, like you do.
And okay.
Now I wanna assume because of the testing that they were doing in that lab, or whatever. Like there must be some sort of markers that like a person has that let the symbiote know that it can last longer. Because even though the riot even says you have a good host, like in Venom even says I'm the most compatible with you. Like there must be some set of shit that like. Not everyone can just host it. Or something. I don't know. I'm just
maybe.
I feel it's the element known as dumb luck, and that is because Opera Man came in, he sees the symbiote, and he starts immediately freaking out. So his vitals are probably all over the place. Like he's losing his shit at the sight of this thing. So it hops in there. It's like, all right, it's like an animal. Like it can sense fear. And it's like, this thing is freaking out. I'm just going to eat it and bail.
Yeah, this guy's a bitch. I don't want to stay here.
Well, like Eddie comes along and his, as you guys put it, woman of non-ill repute, totally snowballs this monster into him. And he's just like, And he didn't realize what happened, so he wasn't freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Like he saw her die, and he's just like, all right, I just gotta get out of here. This is craziness. So he wasn't like flipping out, like, oh, I just saw an alien, that kind of thing. So the symbiote could get a hold on it, and like whatever. It all comes down to, if you don't see it coming, you're a good host, basically.
Sure. But my favorite part about that is that means he chose the little old Asian woman to walk several miles and the little girl to fly by herself. Like, those are the worst options for those scenarios.
Did he cause the little girl to fly by herself? Because
I think so. Again, we don't know because it's not clear at all. Right. But like I said, it looks like she walked into the bathroom, maybe with a mother. When she came out, she was infected, and I don't see anyone else. So your guess is as good as mine as to the particulars, but I can only assume she then somehow got on a plane by herself to San Francisco.
All right. Speaking of San Francisco,
it's one of life's unanswered mysteries.
Let's cut back to San Francisco. Where
now Eddie, he's infected and he's back at his apartment and he's trying to get a hold of John Ralphio's sister here, and down in a beer and then down in frozen tater tots.
He's just losing his mind. He's eating everything in sight.
Chicken carcass out of the trash.
Yeah, he's barfing up everything in sight. He's like, he's on meth. He's a meth head. He's like, he's turned into the full on crack monster.
Yeah, he has this urge to move to Oklahoma and marry Joe Exotic.
Which, I mean, yeah.
Better movie.
Moving to Oklahoma and getting married is kind of a sign of something wrong with you.
I Rob. The rest of us have left that alone. That's all.
Yeah. Listen. Watching Tiger King brought up some feelings, man. That's all I can say. I feel like I left some stuff on the table. You know, I should have gone to the GW Zoo.
Joe Exotic was the celebrant at your wedding, right?
Yeah, definitely.
In his little priest outfit.
He sang his little song.
Yeah, Rob got married on top of a tiger.
So, all right.
Here we get our first issue with the special effects.
Oh, they were special.
Yeah. Eddie's looking in the mirror, and the symbiote's talking to him, which, okay, fine. He also starts getting black veiny marks around his eyes, which, all right, I'll let that go. But then they turn into those bigger...
Google gobble eyes?
Yeah, the big spawn eyes.
Yeah, big spawn eyes, that's right.
And I'm just like...
Spawn had it first, that's right. That's right, fella.
Well, whatever. I don't
know. The CGI, I feel like this had the same problem that we just saw in Jurassic Park 3, where, like, it didn't quite match the setting it was in. Like, it looked like it was just overlaid versus being part of the scene. I don't know, it looked just weird.
Yeah, it looked out of place.
The problem is with this movie, there are some scenes where I think it looks good, and a lot of scenes where it does not.
Like, the scenes where I thought looked great was in the fight with all the smoke grenades.
Yeah,
because it like blocked that shading, so it just looked cool. Like,
best scene in the whole movie, as far as I'm concerned. Like, best scene in the whole movie.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. The stuff I know with like doing these kind of things. Two things will really help you out. One is when you're doing CGI, there's a lot of layers and a lot of work and detail that needs to go into it. And I feel like for most of this movie, they, instead of doing like the normal 40 layers, they got to 20 and then just said, good enough.
Yeah.
Slapped it in there. And two is, if your effects aren't there, you can, set certain scenes, like you say, with a smoke grenade or whatever, that will disguise that fact. And they do that sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah, any scene that was well lit for the human actors and the symbiote was in it looks funny.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Something was not quite right.
So Eddie's freaking out.
Well, wait. I also want to say I don't. It might not be here, but fuck it, we'll cover this. Also, to connect this to other fantastic movies, much like in Catwoman, he has the noisy neighbor playing the guitar too loud. So he goes over there and freaks out and gives him a Venom face, which again looks so terrible.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is, like, either you get the mask on or you don't. Don't do these half measures because that looks fucking bad.
Yeah. So
one thing I didn't see them do in this movie that I liked in the animated show or whatever, there were times where Venom would come out, but Brock's face would open up and Venom would come out. Like, it was weird looking. Like, Brock's mouth would just open up like Venom's mouth, and he would just turn the Venom, like, inside out. Like, I thought they were going to pull it off in this, but they never did.
Ooh.
That'd be interesting. But
I'm sure Tom Hardy was trying to find a way to turn his head inside out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tom Hardy runs into his ex-girlfriend, and she's got a boyfriend now who's probably the nicest character in the whole movie. He's a doctor. He's like, yeah, I'll help you out. I don't know I know you're obviously trying to get back with my girlfriend.
Yeah. I'll be the local cuck for the movie.
He's the version of him in Jurassic Park 3 is the guy who gets killed in the parasailing accident.
Yeah, basically. And then we get like a whole scene of misadventures where Tom Hardy's trying to like figure out what's wrong with him, and he's just a crackhead. And
he's eating half this restaurant. He's jerking around. He jumps into a tank with a bunch of lobsters.
Yeah, he's pooping in the lobster tank, and it's not cool. It's a dumb scene. So, because he shows up, he's stalking his ex-girlfriend. Can we just call it that?
Oh, he sure is.
Because that's what it is. He's stalking his ex-girlfriend, but her current boyfriend is like, well, I'm a doctor, and you're displaying obvious signs of something terrible wrong with you. So I'm going to try and diagnose you. So I'm going to humor this, I guess.
Now, I will give Eddie some slack because his logic for seeking her out is kind of sound, because she was a lawyer. Like, she had the information about this guy's like lawsuits against him, and he now has evidence that like he was more involved in the death of those people. So I'll give him a little bit of slack for that. But like his boyfriend, I don't understand why he's being so helpful. Like
because he's a nice guy.
I mean, I guess. But
yeah.
MRIs cost tens of thousands of dollars for each use.
Not
So
when you're a doctor.
Who's paying for that? Like, are you
He's going to get a bill. He's going to get a bill later on.
Yeah, that's true.
No
He's like,
insurance.
yeah, I'll help you. I'll help you, buddy.
Listen, he's on Obamacare. He don't have no insurance. Like,
but yet he clearly needs help. So I guess he just wanted to help him out.
They need to send his ass to the CDC.
Yeah.
For real.
But they put him in this MRI machine. They try and use it on him, but the supersonic waves cause Venom to freak out because that's one of his weaknesses.
I'm sorry. As this movie says, that's his kryptonite.
Yes.
That was weird.
This movie
weird.
name drops kryptonite.
That took me out of it.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, honestly, so what we haven't mentioned is like the symbiote inside him starts talking to him. Like, it just says like hungry or food or like just random one words here and there. And as it gets further and further along, they just talking more. But the voice sounds like so out of place. I don't know. It knows too much too fast. Like, it's just weird. It's like, how does it know to joke in the way it's joking? You know what I mean? It's weird to me. The whole movie is weird.
Where it calls him a pussy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how do you know that's funny? Like, how do you?
But I think it's great that Tom Hardy got to make such fun faces, though, in that MRI machine.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to get into, because, all the stuff I'm reading where they're like, we want to make this dark, we want to give this, like, that horror edge to it and whatever, and I'm like, you have this perfect opportunity for some kind of weird body horror shit to happen, and instead, Tom Hardy's making, like, Looney Tune faces. Like, at one point, his eyes legit cross.
Yeah.
He looked silly as fuck.
Now we move into the next comedy fight, because Tom Hardy goes home.
Yeah.
And the life agency or whatever it is sends their toughs after him at his apartment. And here we get a Three Stooges fight, basically. These like trained killers are in here.
Oh, wait. Well, before that, first just throw in Ralphio's sister there. They finally catch her out. She's getting thrown in the tank with the symbiotes.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Tom Hardy rides home on the old trolley, and he's, he starts acting real weird. He's jumping up, and I don't know why he doesn't just go like, "Oh, I missed my stop." Instead, he starts acting like a crack addict, and he's like clinging to the bar, like, "We'll just wait here. We'll just wait here."
Yeah, I don't even remember that part. It's so uninteresting, but yeah, yeah. So
but also,
Bill,
he calls his girlfriend. He now has another conversation with her and the doctor, and he tells them at one point. He says, "Is there anything, like, I'm hearing voices, is there anything that caused that?" And the doctor, explains to him what it is. And then when he starts responding to something, they're like, "Who's there? Who are you talking to?" Like, he just fucking told you he's hearing voices.
Yeah.
Or he's like, I climbed a really tall tree really fast. And the doctor's like, oh yeah, sometimes blah blah blah, probably not really understanding what he's like telling him he did.
you probably got syphilis, pal.
Yeah, in the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he might have it too.
The old Carrie Nation. So yeah, he's back at home. Bill Burr shows up and his like team of killers or whatever. And you get a Three Stooges fight where like Tom Hardy is just the puppet and Venom is just doing all the action. But you don't actually get to see Venom yet. It's just like a bunch of goop arms and stuff.
Yeah, it's Prototype.
Yeah. It is exactly Prototype, and it's wacky. Well, no, because Prototype was like cool and actually kind of dark. This is just wacky hijinks.
Okay.
Also, Prototype dropped the F-bomb like every 2 seconds. This is just nonsense. So now we go on this stupid car chase where the CGI is not good. But Tom Hardy's on a motorcycle. And there's just no police in San Francisco, apparently.
At all?
Like, no actual police, which we know is not true. But, yeah, so they're driving all over. It's like San Francisco Rush. They're, like, leaping over, like, everything. It's just crazy. Venom is killing people. The bad guys are killing people. Police, nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
I also want to say, you said the CGI is not good, and you're not wrong. But weirdly, all the slime tentacles that come out aren't so bad, but him on a motorcycle next to a car looks terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
Or when he gets launched up into the air and it just looks like terrible green screen.
Yeah.
Or when the symbiote turns into like a big splatter, and it's like, oh, that's not good. Does not look good.
No, but I agree. The tentacles do look good.
Yeah, the tentacles look fine. And honestly, like in parts of the movie, this CGI looks good.
Well, yeah, but I'm just at this point. Yeah, it's weirdly like the less of the Venom you see, the better it looks, and the more that comes out, and the more solid it's supposed to be, the more you can tell it's totally not there.
Yep.
Yeah. So he escapes these guys by like jumping over this railing and like going over onto like a bridge pylon or something. Then here's where we get just weird exposition from the symbiote. Like he says, "Oh, I'm from a planet. You're a loser. I'm a loser too," which is like
so weird.
So like, why would you say that about your main character?
Yeah.
Like
so
we already know.
To Iron Maiden baby with me.
Yeah. Like this movie, and then he's like, all right, let's go do stuff together. So he's like, he's got the pictures of the bad guys, stuff, and so he goes to his old boss's office, and they like climb up the side of the building and break in. And here I'm like, this movie actually makes a pretty good video game, but not a good movie.
I mean, one you've played already. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, played a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like so Eddie Brock is basically treated like a dog for this whole movie. He's told where to go, what to do by everyone around him, and he just does it.
Mm.
I like how his plan for redemption is to like destroy his boss's his former boss's room office and like just leave his phone on the desk with a note saying do the right thing. Like what? Like call the police. That's what you do. Like fuck.
Also, I'd love to see the next day when the boss goes in there and he like tries to open it. It's like, we need your thumbprint.
Right?
Yeah. He didn't even leave it unlocked. So, all right. So here's probably for me the coolest scene in the whole movie. It's just where it's all over. The movie just ends here. He's leaving. So, and this is the part where Venom calls him a puss. Like he's about to leave his boss's apartment. Venom's like, just jump out the window. And he's like, I'm going to take the elevator. So he takes the elevator down, and there's just a whole SWAT team of non-cops. Are they cops? They're actual cops this time, right?
Unknown.
I think they're cops because he
I
calls
believe
them
they're
police.
cops. Yeah.
No SFPD on any of their gear or anything. That's,
right.
Or whatever.
But they're all... Yeah.
What?
Wait a minute. Sorry. I just want to say, because a very important scene we miss here, where his girlfriend goes back, or his ex-girlfriend, I'm sorry, Michelle Williams goes back to his apartment, or tries to, but the cops have it blocked off, and then one cop's like, you need to go home, lady. It's crazy out here. There's bodies everywhere. Like, everybody's dying.
I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah, like you are the worst cop ever.
It's like the guy who was playing the loud music called, and then the regular cops showed up, and they're like, holy shit, we did not know what we were getting into.
Yeah.
So Eddie is in the lobby of this building, and all these presumably actual cops are there, but they're like in SWAT gear and stuff. And so he's like, oh, don't do this. You don't know what you're getting into. So here comes like an actually kind of, I think, cool fight scene. It's basically Venom just like he's full on Venom costume now, and he's just wrecking these cops. Like, they shoot smoke grenades at him, he just catches them in his mouth, so it kind of creates this whole smoke effect in the fight scene, so the CG actually looks good.
Yeah.
Because there's some like cover, it's a little foggy, you can't quite see. And here's where, I totally could get the horror vibe. Because Venom's just jumping around real cool, like using all of his agility and strength and everything, and just wrecking all these cops.
Oh yeah, this is also Venom being Venom and murdering people by the billions without having to get an R rating because it's foggy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, he's not, I mean, like, comic book wise, he's not killing them because in comic books, unless you see them dead, they're not really dead.
Right.
But like real life, if someone got thrown 50 feet across the room, they're probably fucking dead.
Well, that and the fact that like Venom actually uses one dude to like slam the ground and swing around and hit all the other dudes with.
Like Hulk and Loki. Like he just around.
Well, not just that, but like they reference it and they kind of show it, but they make sure it goes by real fast and there's not a ton of blood, but he is biting people's heads off.
Yeah, he does bite a couple guys' heads off.
I only saw one. He does more than one?
I believe he does.
Okay.
I don't even remember now, but...
So I think there's 3 head bites total in the movie. One is Venom, one is Venom's friend, and then the other one is the turd in the wind nonsense at the end.
Well, that guy just got eaten wholesale.
Yeah, I guess so.
So like...
But, okay.
This fight though, because it's going really cool, but at one point I go, "Why is he still there? Like you can leave now."
Yeah.
And then the fight kept going.
Well, I think it's kind of because Venom himself was like, "Yeah,
I'm enjoying
killing
murdering.
dudes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm having fun." Also, we didn't talk, and I just want to touch on this real quick. It's gonna be a flyby. Those stupid drones in the car chase.
The dumbest shit.
Dumbest thing in the world. Like, they're hitting the ground and exploding into giant blue flames, and I'm like, there are no cops anywhere? Are they all just waiting in that building in the lobby? They're just waiting there? And it's awful. It's really awful. So anyway, so Venom's girlfriend just shows up at this lobby, and he turns back into Eddie Brock, and he's like, whatever, please love me again. And whatever.
And she's awfully cool with it. She's like, "Oh, get in my car. We're going to go to the hospital." Like,
yeah. I know, like, seconds ago you were a giant black goop monster trying to eat somebody's head off, but I know, Eddie. Why don't you get in the car?
Like, in real life, that'd be the most terrifying thing she'd ever seen in her entire life. Like, that fucking 7.5 foot tall, oily, fang-filled monster would be... You would shit your pants. Like,
oh yeah, she should have just passed out and just shit all over the floor.
So, but instead they go to the hospital, where they stick Eddie in an MRI machine, or in a room with an MRI machine, and they turn it on. They separate him from the Venom symbiote, and whatever. Eddie escapes, and they're like, "You're the man now, dog," or whatever. And
well, they find out that the symbiote is starting to eat away his organs.
Right.
They explain later. They kind of touch on like, well, because you're not eating shit that I can eat, I got to eat something. And so it's you, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
basically cancer.
The longer you go without feeding this thing, the more it will feed off of you.
Yeah,
I think is the deal. Also, I believe it's shortly before that, but whatever, somewhere around here is when this little girl apparently can just walk into the Life Foundation and barfs up Riot onto Res Men.
Yeah, great. Now,
He's
is
like,
Riot...
What's wrong? Are you lost?
Is Riot one of the actual Venom guys? Because
Yes.
I know... Okay, because I'm pretty sure that... So here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that that the homeless lady was supposed to be Shriek, but she had the Venom symbiote.
Correct.
But she sure acted like Shriek, so I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well,
I don't know
that's...
Not that it matters. Not that it matters. We'll find out next time when it's Maximum Carnage.
But that's the thing.
Where's
that's
the Carnage
why...
one going to come from?
my ass.
Yeah, Venom's at. But that's part of the thing why I wanted to point out how fucked up it is that we see there's these two other symbiotes that they have that just kind of get off-screen deaths because, in theory, they could have been these other symbiotes that, the known symbiotes. There's, I don't even remember. Yeah, there was Screech, there was Riot, there was the one that was all tentacly.
I don't know most of them.
Snowjob?
Yeah, I forget the name.
Snowjob. Here's the thing. This movie already has enough goop on goop violence that I don't think we need another whole movie of that. But we're getting it anyway.
Oh my goodness! But like,
yeah,
I can't remember how they do it in the comics. If they are buds of Venom or if they are separate. I remember the cartoon. He was a bud from Venom.
Yes, I do. In the comics, I do believe that was the case. And it's kind of a weird thing because, all right, here's another issue I have. Riot's supposed to be, more powerful, whatever. Venom is the weakling. That is kind of how it worked in the comic, but I believe in the comic it was because he produced these things. So again, whereas he had the power from Spider-Man and then the strength from Eddie Brock, Riot would then have all of those things plus whatever he got from his new host. And, it's an ever evolving creature like that. Yeah. Here, he's just more badass than you, just cause. No explanation as to why.
Yeah. So
Plague and Agony, I think, were two of the others.
Oh, okay. So Venom or Eddie gets captured somehow. I don't even remember. It doesn't
because the Venom's not in him no more.
Right. It's in the dog now. It's in a dog.
The head of security.
It's like the mask.
Yeah.
The head of security darts him.
Oh, okay. Right in the chest. I forgot.
Yep.
So yeah, now Eddie's in the bad guy lair, life day. He's got to watch Life Day on a loop.
Okay.
So, Lordy. All right. So Anne now has the Venom symbiote. She goes to rescue him from Life Day.
Yeah, she gets it from the dog.
Yeah, she kisses the dog, and the dog gives it to her. And then he's being taken out to the woods to be
at this
killed.
Point, Riot reveals himself to be inside Drake to Eddie.
Yeah,
because he wants to know where Venom is.
Yep,
because that's important for some reason, which they don't explain.
At this point to Riot, all the symbiotes were part of the team to come take over the planet. So he'd want to know where his subordinate is to keep the mission going.
I guess.
Yeah, he don't know that Venom's a little bitch and don't want to do it no more.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around here the other one gets an off-screen death. Because again, it was in a host, but the host finally, wasn't able to keep up with it. So it burped it up and nobody was paying attention. So it just died on the floor.
So Anne shows up. They're taking Eddie out to the woods to kill him.
Mm.
And she's like Venom now. She kills all the guys. And then she totally just snowballs Venom into Eddie's mouth with a kiss.
I thought this was funny because, so this whole time Venom has been trying to get Eddie to tell her how he feels, and he even made him like basically trying man up or whatever to like try and get her back, whatever. And so in this one, Venom's in Anne. You can tell like he's controlling Anne because Anne would never do this kind of bullshit. But like he just grabs Eddie by the face and like full Venom face just starts kissing him. Like I would have pissed and shit everywhere. Like,
which by the way, this was also the second. This was another head eating right here.
Oh yeah. While they're kissing, like Venom transfers from Anne to Eddie, but leaves it so their mouths are still connected. Like I got you. Like,
well, I think at that point Anne was into it.
Now Drake
Although,
is like.
Later on, she does say it was Venom's idea. It's a little fucked up. But.
Now Drake is like, all right, I gotta launch a rocket. I don't really know why, and there's no explanation I could give that would make it worthwhile.
Yep.
But it is
trying to go to the symbiote home planet or something for some reason.
But it's an early 2000s Marvel terrible movie, so there's got to be a rocket involved somehow. That's all.
Yeah.
And he also has super knowing when people are reading things powers, because he's like, just send the rocket up. I don't need any. Don't check it. Just send it up. I'm gonna go myself. It's gonna be great. And this one dude who's been along the whole time in this project is like, oh, my boss has turned into. He's gone full asshole. I gotta find the kill switch code. And he's like, I see you reading that. Yeah, stab.
Yeah.
And now Riot is full Riot now. He's like killed everybody. He's going on this rocket, and now Venom is full Venom now. And he's also going on rocket.
Venom is describing Riot to Anne and Eddie. He's like, he's the most powerful one. He has shit you've never seen before. He has all the coolest shit. And I'm like, okay, that's a weird description, but whatever.
Like he can turn his goop hands into things? Because I've seen you do that all movie. Like, what?
Yeah, when they start fighting, because they start fighting the next, like, he's just making big sides and swords.
He's just more imaginative than you? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes! Yes! That's what I was trying to get at a little bit before, is the whole thing, like, he can do stuff you wouldn't even believe. Like, why can't you do that? Like, I've seen nothing to indicate you can't just do that.
Right.
So just do that.
When Venom admitted he was a loser, what he meant to say was, I'm dumb. I don't know how to imagine things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, I'm like, so Venom just admitted to being a little bitch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Not how you want your superhero in your superhero movie to come across.
Here's where we get the goop fight.
Yep.
This is the best way I can describe it. Venom and Riot are fighting, and they're floating around little. I mean, some of it's kind of cool because they turn their arms into things. Riot Riot doesn't know that Eddie has Venom yet, so he just stabs him with a big sword hand, big prototype sword hand. And then Venom comes over him, and he's like, Venom, so I can bring people back from the dead, I guess. That's how this works. And so now they're fighting. They're making weapons, and they're jumping around. And
it's confusing. It's
confusing. It's tiring.
A big blur.
Hard to watch.
Big goo fight.
And
at some point, there's some scenes that they used to try to make look cool, where like the symbiotes are away from the bodies fighting, and the bodies are in the middle fighting each other. It was supposed to be cool, but it just looked like a big mess.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, and those people were clearly all CGI, and you could tell from a mile away.
Yeah.
I will say, I can follow this better than some of the Transformer movie fights. So I give them credit for that.
It's honestly about the same for me, but
it's about on par. Yeah, it's about there.
There's one point where both symbiotes go into Riot, and I'm literally like, what just happened?
Yeah.
What am I looking at? And then they separate again, and they're just big piles of goop, and I'm like, what's going on here? Because if they did both split off, and it was just because if it's just Tom Hardy versus what's his name, there should be no fight. Like, Tom Hardy would destroy this guy.
Oh yeah,
He would absolutely destroy him.
I would argue that this CEO guy spends a lot of time training his body because he's all elitist. So he probably does like some weird ass Tai Chi or some bullshit. You know what I mean? Some bullshit ass like.
But I mean, there's a difference between like knowing all that stuff and like being able to just be that guy that can punch another guy in the face and not think
Tom
about
Hardy,
it.
he's just a reporter. So and like not even a good one. So he doesn't have fighting background either. So
yeah, but like I'm going at this from a purely visual standpoint. I'm like, I see Tom Hardy and I see this other guy, and I'm like, this guy looks like he's been on the verge of tears this whole movie.
One
and Tom Hardy,
one doesn't. I get it.
Either way, so Goop fight just continues, and then they're like fighting on the rocket, and I don't even remember. Like, Anne shows up in the control room somehow, and like starts messing with audio equipment, so it makes this feedback, and like so the Riot gets separated out from his symbiote and falls. And the rocket's taken off. Yeah, they both get caught in the flames, and Venom turns into into a.
So like, while Riot it has absorbed Venom, and turns on the speakers and causes them to kind of separate out.
Oh, okay.
And like they both fall from the side of the whatchamacallit. And when they fall, Tom Hardy was able to like get the upper hand on Riot, whatever Drake. Yeah. But Drake gets Riot back inside him first and stabs the shit out of Tom Hardy in the chest.
Yeah, this is basically what Rob was talking about, where it's an actual fight just between the two people, and Eddie Brock has the upper hand because he's just bigger and stronger and whatever.
And so while Eddie's dead, Riot gets into the actual rocket and starts and is about to take off when Venom gets back inside Eddie and he jumps on the rocket too. And so he takes the big ass spear out of his chest, looks in the window where Riot is.
That's right.
He says like, "Fuck you, have a nice life," and then like just jumps down into the rocket booster and cuts it open so all the fuel explodes on him and Riot. Like,
yep,
yeah, that's the end of the fight. Like,
yep. And then Venom turns into a parachute, like a boy in his blob, and they float down, but Venom catches fire and stuff, and it's all. I'm gonna use the word sad. I don't mean it, but that's what they intend to make it.
Right.
I'll always remember you, Eddie.
Like any part of you is like, oh, Venom's dead. I guess no more Venom, right?
Yeah, I'm totally buying that.
Yeah, totally. So they land in the water or whatever, and then it just ends there. Cut to Anne and Eddie sitting on a stoop talking to each other. Like, what?
Yeah, this is where she's like, the symbiote's the one that wanted me to kiss you.
Yeah.
It was weird.
We're not banging. We're not bang friends. Don't call me anymore. Goodbye. Whatever. Have fun.
No. Oh, she totally doesn't say that. She's like, we can still do stuff. Just don't tell my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's basically. Don't tell
that's
Harry.
Not what she says. She does not say that though. But it's not what she
close. It's
kind
close.
of what she means. But she was like, "It's great to have that much power inside of you." And Venom was cool too. And so Eddie's like, "Oh yeah, Venom. Yeah, that's a bummer. He's dead, huh?" And so then, of course, Venom starts talking to him, and it's fun for everybody. And then, oh, look, it's Stan Lee.
Oh my
God,
yeah,
he's here, and Stan Lee's like, "Please get this movie out. I don't want it to be the last one I'm in before I die."
And he weirdly,
was it?
He knows that.
I'm pretty sure that was Captain Marvel. I think.
No, it was Endgame.
Was it? Was he in Endgame?
Yeah.
Okay. Good for him.
But he weirdly said, like, you don't let her go, either of you. So he knows that he has a symbiote?
Stan Lee. He's the Watcher. Yeah, he knows everything.
He's just a crazy old drug addict on the streets of San Francisco.
Or that
walking his damn dog. He's like, I'm going to the Ben and Jerry store. Jerry Garcia. Fight the power.
Now, Eddie's walking down the street. He's having a little chat with Venom. He looks fucking insane. because he's just talking to himself. He goes into this little bodega, and he's like, I know you need to eat people, but you can only eat bad people. I'll show you who the bad people are. And a bad person shows up.
Yeah. He's like, hey, bitch, give me all your money. And like Venom says, I'm going to eat your arms and legs and your face, so you'll be rolling around like a turd in the wind.
To the pain.
That's how he closed this film, and then he eats the guy.
Well, yeah, I also it's basically like a whole, it seems like he's trying to be threatening, and he's like, tell the others that I'm protecting this neighborhood now, and if they try and do it, fuck it, I'm gonna eat you. Like, okay.
So then, cut to Eminem. Anybody wanna field this one?
That's all you.
Venom.
Venom. It's the worst song I've ever heard in my life. It's
Yep.
I won't go that far, but
maybe not the worst ever, but pretty bad.
it's bad.
Pretty terrible. It's I don't really know how to describe it. It's just Eminem saying Venom over and over again with like 3 other lyrics that also are just as equally terrible. Gonna go get him, stand up and win him. I don't even know. It's just,
we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, shit just kind of relating to the movie, whatever.
So, Tom Hardy is intent on proving to us that he can actually read. So here he is again. We cut to, after the Eminem, he's got his little notebook, and he talked earlier in the movie about how he got the interview of a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. He's out of prison, and I don't even remember which one. He walks, sure, and the guard is like, "Oh, you better watch it. He's gonna get you. He's so mean. He's so cruel. You never seen anything like it." So Eddie's walking up. He's walking up, and then, oh, who might this be? It's 60-year-old Woody Harrelson in a friggin' Ronald McDonald wig. Could this be Cletus Cassidy? And then in the most meth-mouthy line delivery I've ever seen, Woody Harrelson, Cletus Cassidy goes, "When I get out of here,"
Sideshow Cassidy.
"Sideshow Cassidy, when I get out of here," and I will, there's gonna be, wait for it, carnage. And everyone in the theater came in their pants all at the same time. How amazing that was. Carnage!
Yeah, there's gonna be carnage. You get it? Because I'm gonna be a character later.
This movie that has nothing to do with the Marvel Universe and nothing to do with Spider-Man has just introduced a character that only served as an impetus to bring Spider-Man and Venom together as a team. I can't wait!
Yep.
Alright.
Venom, gonna go get him. Put your hand in your butt and win him. Tickle.
Sit in a lobster tank.
Yeah. I like it when they pinch my butt.
Wow. And that was Venom.
Hey, so Tony.
Yeah.
You know how to use internets.
I do. Yeah, so on RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this a score of 29%. Audience gave this a score of 80%.
You know what audience is? You know what audience is? I want you to dig deep inside your souls. And go eat dog shit.
All right, so I might as well start with you, Rob. I'm guessing that means you don't recommend this movie.
This movie, thinking about it, I've had some time to process it. And I'm going to say this movie sucks a lot. And wasn't good, was not entertaining, has nothing to do with Spider-Man. And really the only reason I like Venom is because I think he's a cool character opposite Spider-Man.
Right.
And this took all of that away. And add to that Tom Hardy, Will says he's a good actor. I've got none of that evidence in this film. Cause he acted just like a drunk asshole the whole movie. No, I don't recommend it. And Woody Harrelson, definitely not. Even if I like the rest of the movie, then no. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, Will.
Yeah, this about an hour in, I messaged Rob and I was like, "This sucks." Wasn't for superhero movies. They need to be fun. For me, this wasn't fun. I wrote in my notes some of this ridiculousness would sound better with like Spider-Man quipping throughout it, like to balance out the Venom dumbness. But so this movie didn't have any of that. Yeah, I mean there was like little glimpses of cool things throughout. Like we said, the smoke bomb fight, some of the tentacle action, but you can get that anywhere.
From Japan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just not especially watching it for the second time and in general, just to watch it for the podcast, it was a slog. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the sequel looks like and if they ever really do incorporate Spider-Man into it. But yeah, I'm gonna do a not recommend and agree with the critic score.
All right. Brian.
I don't give two shits about anybody in this movie. And, like, the acting in the movie was not very good. I know some people love Tom Hardy or whatever. We've seen the movies with him in it where he was awesome. But, like, this one was not it. Like, it was not good. The character relationships with each other, like, Venom just seems like he was pasted in after the movie was filmed. Like, he's not... I guess it kind of goes with what's happening, but, like, at one point, Eddie Brock asked him, why'd you change your mind? And Venom's like, you. Why? What did he do that made you change your mind about taking over the whole planet? You didn't do shit but be a loser.
30 seconds of screen time together.
Yeah, like they barely, like, the pacing was weird. The things that were cool went on a little bit too long, which kind of took away from how cool they were. Like, sometimes you have to give someone just enough, to give them that burst of adrenaline. But once it happens, let it go. Like, move on to the next thing. But they wait too long for stuff. And, like, it just wasn't... I would not say watch the movie. I didn't want to watch this movie. Like, I was okay never seeing it. Like, I was fine. But yeah, y'all don't watch this shit. Like, go back and watch the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s. And go to the Venom vs. Carnage seasons of that. Do that there.
All right. Yeah, I kind of honestly debated where to fall on this one. I think I ultimately have to go with not a recommendation, but here's the reason I wavered on that. This is by no means a good movie. It is a dumb movie. It is stupid as fuck. It's got so many problems with it, but I think it really works as a good bad movie. Like, I enjoyed myself enough laughing at it, and I could see watching this with the group. That's why, like, well, that's the thing. I would have, I feel bad about watching this movie for this podcast only because we weren't able to watch it together. I think that would have been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, circumstances don't permit that, but yeah, it's just like, again, like, it shouldn't. You probably really should have done an R instead of the PG-13. You kind of wavered on that because you're just stupid and you're trying to get everybody to see it. You tried to do it without Spider-Man, which, like I said, is the majority of his costume. It's the majority of his character. It doesn't explain like half his abilities and like it's just that. That's a whole thing. If you try and put Spider-Man in it now, that's only going to make it even more complicated and ridiculous and won't make any sense. But I think it's just such a dumb, funnish movie. So, like, if you're looking for something really stupid, maybe something to throw on in the background or if we ever get to go out drinking with friends again, put this on. But yeah, it's not really a good movie, so I can't solidly recommend that. What would we recommend instead of this movie then, guys?
Prince of Space. I like it very much.
Yeah, that's cute, but that's not gonna fly here.
Go watch somebody play Prototype.
Or play Prototype. Prototype is fun as hell.
We don't usually recommend games. It's supposed to be more movies, but all right, sure, why not?
That's why I said go watch somebody play it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, they should have thought about that before they made a video game instead of a movie, so...
Okay, so go find Eddie Brock's YouTube channel where he's playing Prototype. All right.
The new Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I would definitely say Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah. Yep, cool.
Yeah, nice.
Wash your hands, people.
Yeah, wash your hands.
Yeah, this movie It should have followed the Spider-Man 3 movie, and if they even now had just made it a direct sequel to that, I think it would have been better. But it came out at a point when no one cares about that shit anymore, so whatever.
Well, thanks, y'all. Listen, the sooner y'all stop going out shopping for groceries, the sooner we can all go back to normal. So stay home, wash your damn hands, and
Wash your ass.
Yeah, wash your ass. Do what the government tells. I know, spooky, scary government out to get you, but still, maybe just the CDC is telling you to stay home. Stay home, please. Also, since most of you should be home, while you're listening to this podcast, if you're listening to this podcast, you can do it right now since you're probably on your phone. Go to wherever you listen to this. There'll be a rating section. Go hit that rating. Give us an amount of stars. I don't even care what that amount is. You want to give us all 1-star reviews? Totally fine by me. Just give us some reviews. We want to hear it. Also, email us, please. We're all locked at home and desperate to contact the outside world. So please email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com.
I still gotta work.
Yes, everyone in this podcast still has to work. That's not the point. That's not the point. I'm reaching out to the everyman. Listen. We all essential.
They got time to write. We got time to read.
That's exactly right. And we'd love to read it on a podcast episode. So reach out to us. Tell us what you're doing, how you're coping with what's going on out there. Other than that, you can always find our other stuff, our older episodes. We have an archive of our complete episode list at 4ampodcast.podbean.com. You can also tweet at us with the Twitters or the Facebooks at 4am Podcast. And of course, we have our Patreon page, which has some extra special exclusive Patreon stuff at patreon.com/4am Podcast. Now, we've been trying to do as many episodes a week as we can. It's getting crazy, so we're going to back it down a little bit. We're still going to try and at least get you guys an episode a week if possible. So no promises anywhere, but we're doing the best we can for you, so we do appreciate any amount of shout-outs you can give us. You want to tell your friends about us, whatever you can do to get the word out about our podcast.
Some of us were hoping we'd be asked to stay home by now, but
yeah, well, there is that. But in any case, we want you guys to stay home, stay safe, keep being awesome, and that's it.
Deuces.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.